Hey guys, Keith here. Welcome to the channel. Tonight we're going to talk about age gap in dating. What do you feel about that? Have you dated someone older than you? A lot. I don't mean a few months or a couple years. I'm talking about several years, maybe 5 years or more, 8 years, 10 years, 20 years. Or have you dated someone a lot younger than you? And how did that work out? I always think about age gap. I guess is just, are we going to have things in common? You know. And I think you can very much so. Sometimes you can, if I dated someone a lot younger than me, let's say, but they grew up in a home where they knew a lot of the things back in my day. Maybe because of their parents. I know my kids. They like a lot of the music I liked when I was a kid, and they like a lot of the movies that I grew up with. So, you could meet someone like that to where you have someone younger than you, 10, 15, 20 years younger even, and have a lot in common. I don't know. I've never done that. Probably 7 years is the longest, the most I've had. I've dated someone 7 years older than me, and I dated someone 7 years younger than me. And I don't know, as I noticed just a lot of different, there was differences. Probably the one that was younger than me probably had the most different, things that maybe I didn't have in common with, but I was thinking about Dick Van Dyke. We talked about him turning 100 in a previous video, and his wife is 45 years. Let me say it again: 45 years younger than him. 45 years. I'm not knocking it. I'm not judging that. Don't get me wrong. I think it's awesome because I watched an interview with him, and she was just in tears, just in awe of him. Of course, he is Dick Van Dyke, right? But still, it's not about who he is as an actor and as a famous person. Just there was a love there. You could see there's true love that's happening between them, and I just think it's awesome. 45 years, that's a stretch. That'd be a lot. But I'm curious from you guys what your limit would be, and I guess we all could change if we found the right person, and maybe we wouldn't be maybe looking for somebody 20 years younger than us or 20 years older than us, because just maybe not be in our plans. But if we met someone with that age gap and we fell in love, hey, you never know. I know a lot of times, you see the men are older and they go for younger women. And I get that. I'm a man. I'm not, I get that. But I guess my thing is beyond the looks, there's got to be some things in common. You know what I mean? And no matter what age, I know people my age and I don't have anything in common with them, guys or girls. Guys I've tried to be friends with, girls I've tried to date, and I have nothing in common with them really. Just maybe they're girls are good looking and maybe I'm attracted to them, but just there's no connection there. But you could very well meet someone that's 10 years younger than you, and there's a connection, even though you grew up at different times, with different movies and TV shows and different music and things like that. 10 years is a long time, but that you can still, you don't have to have all that in common. I think you just have to be in love, and you have to have that in common. That's the main thing, that you connect. You're attracted to one another. You enjoy one another's company. You have the same likes, dislikes. Like I say, you don't have to like everything or dislike everything that they do, but you have some similarities enough that it matters, and you get along. You communicate well. You're able to joke and laugh and just enjoy one another's company, and regardless of the age. And I've seen some shows on TV, and there was some of those and a lot of those were the men were older, but not all of them were like that. And but they were, there might be a good 20, 25 year age gap, but they seemed happy, and that's the main thing. So, like I say, my question to you guys, what do you feel like is your cap for the age gap? What would you like? No, I wouldn't go farther than that. And I know for a lot of us, we talk about on this channel, a lot of folks 50 plus. I'm 60 now, but I'm still 50 plus. I'm still, I'm over 50, so I still fit in that category. but we, you know, some of us just don't want to date. We don't care anything about dating anybody of any age, you know, really. But if you were to date, and if you are, you know, looking to date someone, you know, just curious, you know, what that age gap what would be a deal breaker for you on that, okay? And if you could let us know, I appreciate it. And once again, if you could give us a thumbs up on this, subscribe to us, and check out our other videos out there. I hope you're having a great night. We'll see you all in the next one. Thanks.